We're here to talk about mental health, and mental health is extraordinarily important to me because I live with depression and anxiety, and it is overdue that we have this conversation, especially in communities of color. So, what are some mental health challenges people in your community face, and how do your cultures, values, or traditions shape that?
In the Asian American community, there is the model minority double standard of you've got to hold up this really high standard, so that way um, to protect us from the marginalization that comes with if you're not at the very very tippity top and you have to work 10 times harder to get to the tippity top.
Postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety are a very big what can you can call them, I guess, side effects of becoming a mom. And I think it's very important that we as a community shine a light on that. I think we need to like make it more okay to not be okay, especially in that recovery phase.
I've had conversations with immigrant people, and sometimes I feel like they feel like no one is going to help them here, or they feel like there's nothing they can support them. And then there's places like this one, or literally there's therapy you can take in Spanish as well. I tell them many times. But I feel like immigrants sometimes are like rejecting help, if that makes sense. That's how I feel it sometimes in my culture. Like they don't want to be helped, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I see both of you nodding your heads in agreement, but you two have not immigrated here, but that resonates with you.
Yes. Yeah, I've definitely seen that and experienced it. Also, especially in the Black community, like especially Black women, we have this thing like, no what, like, okay, fine, I'll just do it myself. Like I got it. I got it. I got it. I'll figure out how to do it. I'm not gonna rely on someone else. I got it, and that is probably like definitely holds Black women back.
I feel like as an immigrant, you kind of have to be resilient. You have to be strong, because I mean, you're putting it all on the line for a better future, right? So there's just like, you can't quit, so that, yeah, that could be hard.
Thanks for being brave. I mean, our culture is associated very closely because you are told so often, don't be weak. You have to be strong.
How has stigma around mental health impacted you?
Shame. And when we don't talk about it, shame, that is the fuel for shame, is to not talk about it. Because if we think it's taboo in any way, then we're tacitly saying to each other, there's something wrong with you, it's not okay to talk about this.
For my community, the stigma of mental health, it has shut individuals down. I'm just going to self-soothe these things and deal with these issues that I have going on with me, and it'll be all right. Tomorrow's another day.
In the Black community, we definitely have a it's not my business, or I might business, and it could just be like if you open up first, or even like they feel like, oh, like, yeah, that kind of is what I'm going through, or you understand where I'm coming from, makes it easier to then to start talking more about it. So
What advice would you offer to someone who is struggling with their mental well-being, who feels alone?
I think a good way to introduce and talk of mental health to our community, like Hispanic and Latino community, would be to kind of make it a safe space, make it a no judgment zone. I think that's what my culture or my community is most afraid of, is being judged. So just being vulnerable and being not being judgmental to like what other people have to say, I feel like that would go a really long way. Just getting people talking and more open about the idea of needing help or reaching out when that time.
I always used to try to shy away from the color of my skin because I was always darker than my friends or the groups that I, would associate with. So as I've grown and realized that no one is coming to save you, it's very important to step outside of what others think of you and their expectations and look inward and stem in your truth and try to be the best version of yourself.
Sometimes it's just nice when someone checks in. It's like, hey, how's your day? To feel seen, even like, hey, someone sees you, your physical presence to check in. I think that's a huge piece. So I think there's a lot of power to that. I think a lot of the times as community, when we know or don't know that someone's struggling, we are kind of in this space of like, well, let's not bother people, let's stay in our lane. Where it's like, no, let's check in, and that person can choose how much or little they want to share about where they're at.
The more we talk about it, the more normal it becomes, right? Like that taboo subject goes away. It's more normal. It's just how we talk about like the flu or a cold or whatever. It's something that happens to all of us, and we all deal with mental health, so it should be talked about.
These conversations matter because they help break stigma, build understanding, and create real change.